Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Figured I would make a video talking about different types of a thru hike. In this video we're going to talk about purist thru hike. We're going to talk about blue blazing, yellow blazing, pink blazing, and the whole thing. So you're going to get an idea of all the different types of thru hikes you can have, or at least that's what they call them. Whatever kind of thru hike you want to have, that's entirely up to you. I'm no hiking authority about any of these topics. These are just my opinions. I'm out here doing a loop on a Des Plaines River Trail in Chicago. Beautiful day, really enjoying this hike. Yeah, let's get to it. So I'm going to talk about what a purist thru hike is. A purist thru hike is, for example, if you're doing the Appalachian Trail, you're connecting your footsteps following the white blazes. So if you go into a shelter, for example, you're not going to take, if there's two trails, you're not going to take the trail that's going to cut off white blazes in between those trails. You're going to go back to the way you came from. You're going to connect your footsteps and you're going to follow all the white blazes from Georgia to Maine. So if the trail has a detour, for example, that's not your fault. But where you can connect your footsteps, that's what you're gonna do. And that's a purist thru hike. A lot of purists carry their pack. They have their pack with them and they bring all their stuff. They carry their pack the entire way. That's the kind of thru hike that I did. That was something that I wanted to do. I read about Grandma Gatewood, Earl Schaefer, and all these other thru hikers. So there wasn't slack packing when they did the trail. As far as I know. So my idea of was carrying the whole pack all the way from Georgia to Maine, and connecting my footsteps following the white blazes. That was kind of what I wanted to do. My thoughts on slack packing is, for me personally, I like having my pack. I like having all my stuff with me. It's a little bit heavier. Some days are harder, but once I'm used to carrying my pack, I like having it. I feel like if I'm carrying my pack, I'm out on on the thru hike, I can stop anywhere I want. I can just do, if I want to stop and not go from one point to one point, I can do that. Or if I want to do more miles, I'm not forced to go to a hostel and go to a hostel and end my day earlier because I'm slack packing. So that's what kind of the way I hike. If you're out there and hiking and you decide you need to slack pack, that's entirely up to you. You shouldn't have somebody judging you and telling you, hey, slack packing is cheating or anything like that. If you want to slack pack, then it's up to you entirely. Like, don't follow somebody else's, way of hiking. Just because I like carrying my pack, it doesn't mean that you need to be carrying your pack. You're out there enjoying the trail. You're trying to do this thru hike. Do it the way you want to do it, okay? But don't yellow blaze. Yellow blazing is, for example, if you decide you don't want to do Virginia anymore, you're going to skip Virginia entirely, and from Virginia, you're going to end up in West Virginia. So you end up in Harper's Ferry or something. So when you do get to Katahdin and you skipped all of Virginia, that's not necessarily called a thru hike. So if you are out there trying to get a thru hike in, I wouldn't suggest calling yourself a thru hiker if you skip huge chunks of the trail. And that's what thru hikers would call yellow blazing. Yellow blazing is something a lot of people on trail kind of like look down upon. And they have the right to do so, because if you're out there, you call yourself a thru hiker and you yellow blaze huge chunks of the trail, you're kind of like lying to the community, and it's not really not the way to go. Obviously, if you're out there just hiking sections of the trail and you're saying, okay, I'm going to skip half of the trail and do this area, that's up to you. You can do whatever you want to do on trail, and just as long as when you get to Katahdin, you don't call yourself, oh, I thru hiked the entire trail. That's fine to do that. So pink blazing. Pink blazing is something, for example, if you like somebody on trail and you were doing 20 mile a day, and then you get to a shelter and you find somebody that you like, and then all of a sudden you're doing like 9 miles a day. You're zeroing your, or you have to pick up the miles. If you find somebody you like on trail and then you're going from 10 miles to 20 miles a day, you end up getting yourself hurt. That's another thing about like pink blazing, why you got to be careful, because you're out there to hike your own hike, so you don't want somebody dictating either going faster or slower. So you got to be really careful when it comes down to that. And obviously it's up to you to what you do out there, but I would kind of keep an eye on that, because you're out there to complete the hike. You're not out there to hike somebody else's hike, right? So be careful about that. Yeah, blue blazing. Blue blazing is, there's a lot of easier paths on the AT, and you know, that's up to you. For example, I like following the white blazes, but I'm sure there's some beautiful scenery on the blue blazes. But obviously, if you're hiking 2,190 whatever miles it is now, and you're taking the easier blue blaze, or you're taking, for example, a road, which they can also call like a blue blaze, you're kind of shortening your hike, so you're not completing the full hike. That's why I don't like doing that, and I would suggest just following the white blazes. So when you do complete your hike, you know exactly the mileage you completed. But again, that is up to you when you're out there to decide. The Appalachian Trail Conservancy, you know, as long as you get from one point to the other point, it's kind of up to you. You can use the blue blazes or the white blazes. But obviously, for me personally, I think taking the white blazes is the way to go. Obviously, on the Continental Divide Trail, there's many different routes. So I used that flexibility to take a few shorter routes here and there, because the whole CDT is 3,100 miles, and very few people, if anybody at all, I'm sure somebody has done it, do the whole chunk of the CDT. So definitely, for like the CDT, you have that more of a flexibility. For the AT, the way I personally view it is sticking to the white blazes. On my first thru hike in 2017, I ended up falling in New York, hitting my elbow, and there was a boulder over there that was on a white blaze, and I tried so hard to get up this boulder, but my grip, I couldn't work my grip, I couldn't get up this boulder. So I was forced to take a blue trail, and it was only like, I don't know, you could see it just curving around. It wasn't long at all, but I felt so bad about that. And I mean, it's crazy. It's just like a little chunk that I couldn't get up this boulder for the life of me. And I don't know why, I just felt so bad about it. Just kind of stupid to think about. But that was just kind of my view about it. So yeah, like I said, you know, you gotta hike your own hike. For me personally, like if you decide to slack pack, and then you do the CDT or like the PCT or some other big trail where you can't slack pack. When you're not used to carrying your pack, it's going to be harder, because the AT allows people to slack pack more so, and then you get on the CDT and then you have to carry even more weight with the water carries, and it's going to be a little bit tougher. That's why I would kind of suggest limiting the slack packing, and that's why I like carrying my own stuff. But this thru hike is entirely up to you. Let me know down below, guys, in the comments what your views are on purist hike, slack packing, yellow blazing, blue blazing. What is your view on thru hiking? What's your view? What kind of thru hike would you do? Or if you have done a thru hike, how did you do your thru hike? Did you slack pack a little part of it? Did you blue blaze, or did you do the whole trail as a purist? So definitely an interesting topic. This kind of comes up on, you know, on the AT or in trails like all the time. There's always somebody slack packing a ton. There's always somebody yellow blazing. There's always somebody, you know, doing some kind of alternate routes or whatever. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you're out there thru hiking, your goal should be to complete the thru hike and just do it the way you want to do it and enjoy the trail. That's the most important part of it. Don't let other people try to influence the way you want to hike it. Again, I'm no hiking authority about any of these things, just kind of was out here hiking, had a couple of things on my mind, and wanted to share this little video with you guys. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm, and you know that's really important. And if you're not subscribed yet, feel free to subscribe, and let me know down below what kind of videos that you guys want to see, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.